Luke Byrne. Is Luka an MVP favorite? Luke Byrne tuned in from Australia. He has to be. And you know what? Going into last year, Luka Doncic was the favorite at one point to win NBA MVP. How do I know that? Because I looked it up. And I said, okay, Luka, he's going into another year. He's gotten better with every campaign. Is he going to win MVP? Certainly has all the makings of winning one at some point. I think it's only a matter of time before Luka Doncic is an MVP. I'll tell you how you can win it this year. You have the Mavs as a top 3 team in the West after they lost Jalen Brunson. That's how Luka can win his first MVP. And if he does that, my goodness, he already is solidified as one of the game's best players right now. He enters into a different pantheon among players all time. If he wins that MVP, I do believe he'll be one of the favorites. Blake Jones. Terance Mann is a name that I like for the Dallas Mavericks. What would they have to give up for him? Terance Mann is a good player who, in each of his first couple of years, 3 years to be exact, he's gotten better and better and better and has that long wingspan, has that athleticism, a little bit of that spunk in terms of his athleticism to be an impact player in a playoff series on both ends of the floor. I like Terance Mann a lot. The thing is, what's the price tag going to be? Is it going to cost you Tim Hardaway Jr.? It might. And are you willing to part ways with a player like that to bring in Terance Mann, who isn't the offensive player, who THJ is? But THJ a little bit streaky. Terance Mann, better all-around player on both ends of the floor. I would be intrigued by that for sure. Some might say the Warriors are offseason winners. They won a championship and they were able to get good value deals and replenish that talent to a certain degree. But who do you think is the biggest NBA offseason winner? Give me a name right now in the comment section. Rylan Hill, where do you rank the Mavs outside of your top 10 starting fives? They're probably on the cusp, and if you're watching this mailbag after our live show, check out the channel for my top 10 starting lineups in the NBA going up to this year. I'd put them, like the Chicago Bulls are right there, the Miami Heat are right there, and then maybe the Mavericks. So let's just say 13 behind the Bulls and the Heat. I think that's a proper range because you lose Jalen Brunson and still up to this point haven't really replaced him. Bob Berta, NBA breakout candidates. This will be the last segment, or the last question, in our mailbag. Yeah, you know what? I sometimes I just plan ahead and I put together some of these lists. Last week, it was my top 10 players, and we have this in the database, some of my NBA breakout candidates, because we like to stockpile these graphics in case we do them on a show at some point. So good job by producer Coop for pulling this up, but here's some of my breakout candidates here. And I'm going to exclude rookies because that's kind of our chat sports rule, right? How can a rookie be a breakout candidate? But year 2 guys and beyond, they can be deemed as breakout candidates. Tyrese Halliburton has been really good throughout his NBA career, but I look at breakout candidates like in the running for most improved player, and it's kind of a combination of both. Halliburton can become, I believe, a borderline superstar in this league and a future all-star. He was awesome for Indiana last year, really good for Sacramento. One of the few players in the history of the NBA who's actually wanted to play for the Kings, and they still dealt him away. Jalen Green, last couple of months of last year, arrow pointing up for him, started to find his groove, started to have some confidence. Early in his rookie campaign, it was a little bit rocky, really started to turn that corner and turn it on at the end of the year. OG Anunoby, just look at the numbers that he's put up the last couple of years, continues to get better and better and better and better. He's always had the length, the bulk, and the athleticism, but with OG Anunoby, the offense is what continues to blossom. And then Jalen Suggs, big year 2 for him. And this is a team that I think is a good complementary cast for what Jalen Suggs does well. A little bit confused as to why Orlando played him so much off ball last year, also dealt with a couple of injuries, but if he can settle into that point guard role, I think that'll allow him to kind of maximize his ability. So right there, 4 breakout candidates for me. Lazy Laker, what's the latest on Kai Sotto after he didn't get drafted? So just some context, during the NBA draft lead-up, we were talking a lot about international prospects from all across the globe, and there was a big interest in Kai Sotto because we have a large Filipino audience. By the way, everybody in the Philippines tuning in, if you were impacted by that earthquake that registered on the Richter scale of more than 7, I hope that all of you are safe and sound in the Philippines because we here at Chat Sports love you. And Kai Sotto, hopefully him and his family are okay because he was attempting to be the first Filipino basketball player who was born in the Philippines to get drafted. Now, Jordan Clarkson and Jalen Green are of Filipino descent, but Kai Sotto was trying to make history. As we know, he didn't get drafted. So here's the latest with Kai. He did go undrafted. I thought this was weird that he didn't participate in the NBA Summer League. Would have been a great opportunity for him to showcase his skills. The average attendance per day at a couple of those Summer League games, 11,000. They broke records, and he could have played in that and gained a lot of traction, maybe signed a UDFA deal. I've always said this. If Taco Fall and Boban Marjanovic can play in the NBA, I think Kai Sotto deserves a shot. Because he didn't play in the Summer League, because he didn't get drafted, he is under contract in the NBL in Australia, one of the best international leagues in the world, with the Adelaide 36ers, and he's expected to assume a larger role with the team because the 36ers are going to lose some players in that front court. So this past year, only played about 15 minutes per game. The production was pretty solid. This upcoming year, maybe he even improves his stock a little bit so that he can carve out a role on an NBA roster. Jay Fish, Draymond Green threatens to team up with LeBron if not offered a max extension. You put Draymond on the Lakers, that's an interesting team. LeBron at the 3, let's say the wing. Draymond at the 4, Anthony Davis at the 5. You got to figure out point guard and 2 guard. Maybe you trade for Buddy Hield. You bring in a solid point guard who can play make and maybe not be a primary scorer, but Colin Sexton. Look, I think you just make me the Lakers general manager after I just did that. Now, find a way to make it happen, right? Trade for Colin Sexton, trade for Buddy Hield, LeBron James at the 3, Draymond at the 4, if he opts out next year with that player option, and then Anthony Davis at the 5. That allows you to compete for a championship over the next couple of years. Also, LeBron's status, his future in LA, that's also a little bit unknown because he's going into the final year of his deal as well. Before we continue on our mailbag, taking all these questions from our loyal subscribers, you might be subscribed, but are your notifications on? If they're not, make sure you turn them on. Therefore, anytime we go live, anytime we publish a video, you will be notified and receive that push notification. How do you do it? You follow the steps right here to my right. You go to the settings portion on your app, on your phone, scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then turn on allow notifications. Therefore, again, once we do anything here at Chat Sports, you will stay in the know.